When there's peas on your knees, they should be on the floor. So just stand up and brush them off, and they're on the floor. You can slip and slide in those peas on the floor. And it's a beautiful experience. We can both sink in, and you can have a split pea soup.
All right, Vincent has to interrupt Greg. Normally that would be Vince's job, and he's not.
That was delightful.
Thank you.
I have no idea what I'm doing right now.
Well, welcome to Mazecast, the video about maze. Now, this is a very special episode of Mazecast, but the first time ever we have somebody on here who has not read Maze before. And as we've done this before, we will be taking him through Maze. He'll be attempting to solve its mysteries. And so let's get straight to our new mazer, Jeff. Jeff, would you like to say a few words about yourself and your lack of experience with this particular book?
Well, my name is Jeff, and I was changed by 5 minutes ago. This is a video cast. To go through this book. I don't even know what this book is about. I called me. I think they're puzzles in it. Nothing about that.
It is, in fact, described on the cover as the world's most challenging puzzle.
You realize then that's a terrible puzzle.
That might actually help you.
Okay.
So the idea of this book is each page of it depicts a room in the maze, and these rooms have doorways with numbers on them, leading you to the corresponding page number in the book, which is another room in the maze. You're trying to find your way through the maze. Your goal is to find your way from room 1 to room 45, and then back to room 1. Ideally using the shortest possible path. The directions tell you that if you use your head, you should be able to make the journey in only 16 steps. But watch out, because it's pretty tricky.
45 and you step back 1.
Right.
Sorry?
45 and then back to 1.
Yes.
And there are puzzles in every room that are supposed to tell you which door to take. If you said correctly.
And they're gonna blow your mind.
Blow my mind. All right. So, I'm sorry for
There's a
the
cash prize for solving the middle of the maze, but that happened decades ago. Well, we don't need to get into that.
Okay.
All right. Do we want to start at the prologue? Or
Yeah, let's start the prologue. I wanted to make a quick fact check on
Okay.
Ben Heaton's claim that Jeffrey is the first person to do a Mazecast who's never read Maze. We've actually done visitors episodes before, but I think Jeffrey might be here's the amendment. I think he's the first one to do a Mazecast who's never even heard of Maze.
yeah.
That is correct. I did not know this thing existed until Dan told me on this video chat after he asked me if I was available for an hour.
You're
It
definitely
was published in 1985.
Oh, so this is older than I am?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right. Can you pull up the prologue, please? The prologue page.
Okay. Pulling up the prologue. Here we go.
The maze.
Okay.
I met them at the gate, though I usually wait outside, preoccupied with... Oh, what's that?
Wait a second, Sarah, you've got the wrong image here. This is the directions, not the prologue.
Oh,
The direction. This is not... Oh, yeah. The maze. I met them at the gate, though I usually wait inside. Preoccupied with their own thoughts, impatient, like so many children, they didn't see who I really was. They never noticed my crown, my pain, the fire in my eyes. Like all the others, they think the maze was made for them. Actually, it's the other way around. They think I'm some poet who will lead them through the symbols and spaces of this underworld. They think I will teach them lessons. They should call me Cerberus, I am the lesson. The monstrous walls rise up and run away as far as the human eye can see, circling and dividing. Which half is the maze? Even I get lost. It changes, sometimes slowly, imperceptibly, sometimes suddenly. This house is not only made of stone and mortar, wood and paint. It is made of time and mystery, hope and fear. Construction never stops. I take some pride in my role as architect. They think I will guide them to the center. Perhaps I will. The sun was very hot. Together we walked through the gate into... So here we'll turn the page because you don't have any choices to make. But if you want to look at things, you can.
Okay, so I see the next page and an umbrella. I got that going for me.
Okay. We turn the page.
Yes.
Yeah. Turn.
So I'm going to display the picture actually because I'm sure Greg has his book, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll just display the picture. That's better.
Though I didn't for a while. I had to go get it. The entrance hall of the maze. They looked carefully at the bronze doors, trying to choose. The uncertainty of visitors is one of my little pleasures. It's easy to get lost, I said helpfully. This can be a sinister place. The sun glared at me through the gateway. Something was ringing behind one of the doors. They spent some time trying to decide which door it was, not understanding that the silences of the maze are as eloquent as the sounds. Decisions, decisions, one said. Too many decisions. The story of my life, said another. We don't want to be late, said a third, opening one of the doors. Nary a soul to be seen, said the first, peering into the gloom. I waited patiently for them to choose which way to go into. So here's the point where you make a choice, but you can deliberate.
Alright.
And
And there's supposed to be a puzzle here for me to solve. Is what I've been told.
Yes, that's right. Let me know if you want me to flick back to the text.
Oh, is the text part of the puzzle?
yeah,
Anything can be part of the puzzle.
right.
Anything you can imagine.
Anything you could imagine is a puzzle is a puzzle. And if you could just talk about your thought process, that's really interesting to people who are watching this, because there are a lot of people watching this right now. They really want to know what you think.
Are there a lot of people watching this?
No.
Maybe one.
Maybe one. Alright.
And we're
Okay, so let's see. I'm seeing the numbers indicate the pages, right?
Mhm.
Okay, I'm seeing 40 staple, tail yarn. These are all synonyms for story. So, I'm seeing a cape on one door, a cup on another, a bottle, and a base. There's a piece of paper stuck under one door. There's a bunch of other papers, a needle, and another piece of paper on these walls.
Is anyone else hearing some weird feedback?
Yeah.
I think maybe when we did the sound adjustment, maybe you bumped Jeffrey up too much, so there's like too much gain.
Okay, I'll try and fix
That
that.
could be.
I also turned up the sound on mine. As a measured projection on speakers.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Alright. Alright, could you flip back to the page so I can take a look at it again?
Yeah. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. Well, obviously, something has to do with silence. Otherwise, was being emphasized in that one paragraph. Story of my life. Obviously, story is important. It doesn't mention which doors are actually looking through. Could you go back to the entrance hall?
Yeah.
Oh. Let's see.
Greg and I have our copies out, I see.
Story. Well, start my life. Let's go with 20.
All right.
You gonna pick 20?
Yeah.
Do you have a reason, or are you just guessing?
Hey, he said.
I'm just going with the story of my life. I don't see anything else kind of related to silence.
Right.
Of course, there's that archway, which I assume has no pay number.
Room number 20. The ringing stopped as soon as we entered. What is the matter now? I asked them. Too many animals for a proper house. They walked carefully around the edges of the room. I watched with an amusement shared, I think, by the wise old tortoise. With backward looks and muttered comments about turtles, they left room number 20 and entered.
Sorry, guys. It's coming.
That's fine. I actually tweeted about turtles just before we kind of started this process.
Oh, what do you have to say about them?
I said that when people think of wise turtles, they don't think of the ones that like bite you in a river. I'm paraphrasing. They think of the ones that just kind of swim out to sea, the big ones.
Right, not like snap.
They're the tortoises. Alright, well, there's a big turtle. We've got a door here with a blanked out number. I think I can go down that one.
Right.
So really the option is just 5 and 27. We've got telephone on the table. Got a picture of an arrow through one of the doors. We've got a guy in a turban with kind of ottoman. A castle trick which is smoking. So they start by lighting it and quite a lit. And another castle trick lounging in a chair. You know, as castle turrets do. Can I take a look at the writing? Alright, back to the woman.
Oh, there we go.
Alright, we also have a couple of newspapers here. They're saying extra and F. Well, the turtle's pointing one. Well, the turtle's tail is going towards one door. Head's not really pointing to another door. Pointing to one and then between that and the arrow, I'm going to flip to 27.
Okay, so follow the arrow.
A darkened chamber dominated by a large figure. We could see that someone had been working here recently. The entrance I had so carefully hidden had been uncovered. I made a note to return as soon as I could and fill in the hole again. The visitors were so intrigued with the entrance at the bottom of the excavation that they ignored what the figure was trying to tell them. Where are the workmen? They must be ahead of us, I said. If we hurry, we can catch them. Catch up with them. I heard the group through the door, too.
Alright, the figure supposed to tell me something.
Here we go. Oh, right.
Looks like a guy in a tunic. Boots. Hands like from Austria. Looks like he's got mirror shades on. The lantern.
Jeff, can you see the picture big on your screen? Or are you just looking at the little box?
I clicked on Sarah's screen, so it's kind of,
All right.
Good.
I'm having some trouble making out the word.
That's the case in the paper copy as well. And
Okay.
if you want, I can read it to you. It's Fata viam invenient,
Well, if only I'd taken
with a question mark at the end.
sounds like Latin. Well, we're going to go. No. Yeah, can I Google what that's Latin is, or would that be as a rule of the Mazecast?
No, Googling is encouraged. Except don't look up the answers.
Sure. Ben, can you repeat that phrase?
Yeah, I will. I get into the hangout thing. Yeah, did that go through?
Yeah, I got it. The fate will find a way. Alright. Well, it was fake that the door was uncovered, so we're gonna go down to 9.
All right.
9.
What appeared to be an old storeroom. Dust obscured a damaged painting, making it hard to understand just what the artist had intended. This could be a trick of some sort, one said. We might be going around in circles. I don't think so, said the thoughtful one. I think we're supposed to think it's a trick. That's the trick. They all looked at me. Yes, I said. I'm sure you're right about that. With doubtful looks, they left the floor.
Sorry, my computer is so slow.
Hey, you got it now, though.
Yeah.
Alright.
Alright.
Well, we got a blind mouse over here. Quarantine with some sort of warrior on it. One of the doorways, we got an angel. And we'll pick up a plants. Got a shovel, we got a star. Hey, take a look at the writing.
Yeah.
Alright. Back to the picture. Well, we're gonna go for. Seems like going through the door with blind house. Doesn't seem like a smart idea. But we're gonna follow the angel and go to room 8.
All right.
A much warmer room. Shadows danced across the floor to the fire's music. Someone's lost his hat. Are you sure it's the hat that is lost? I asked reasonably enough. No one would answer me. Ducking behind a curtain and hurrying down a passageway, we came out in...
Right. How many steps have I taken up this point?
I think 3.
This is the 4th.
The 4th step, alright. So, you got music note. You got a pretty epic looking fireplace here. You got some firewood kind of filled across the floor, very unsafe. We've got some mantelpiece with dragon, also fairly awesome. Got chairs, a bowling pin, and but the music room is a bowling pin. We got some musical notation up here. I don't know how to read music, so that bit of the puzzle, if that's part of the puzzle, is pretty to solution. If you look at the writing,
Nope, it's the wrong way. Wrong way. There we go.
someone's lost its hat.
Are you sure it's the hat that's lost?
Well, the architect think we're lost. Guess unless they do the job. Let's head back to the picture. I guess that's the hat next to the firewood. Yeah, alright. Well, that's,
Does anybody hear ghosts?
Yes, a beautiful ghost.
Okay.
You heard a ghost?
Singing.
I wish I really knew more about musical notation at this point. Well, I think if I remember my days from choir a long time ago, I think that one of the 13 is supposed to be a brick or a connector of some sort. So we're going to go 13.
Oh.
A grit.
13.
Room number 13. They weren't really comfortable here, and I knew why. No, they said. We're not all superstitious. Only some of you then. They were worried it might be Friday. Well, it's true that it was closer to the end of the week than they realized. It takes a great deal of experience, certainly more than they possessed, to understand how time works in the maze. The clock thought it was 6 in the evening. Quickly moving on, we came to.
Alright, so time is obviously a puzzle here. Between the distinction between the various ways, let's count time, the clock, sundial. Not quite sure what stuff was the directive in the make a sound on the receipt. And the lamp? Is that a lamp? Again?
Yes, that's a lamp.
I actually have one kind of like it with me here.
The lamp isn't turned on because there's no shadow being cast or the sundial at the moment. The clock
Visual aid there.
Looks like a 6 o'clock. And they said it was closer to Friday. Ben, I hope you weren't. Well, waiting for me to stand you with my puzzle solving ability.
You're doing well so far.
You're doing awesome, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that, like any puzzle, there's no wrong answer.
That's not how puzzles work. I'm going to go 6 o'clock. That's 1800 in Army time. So we're going to go to 8.
Sounds good.
A much warmer room. Shadows dance across the floor to the fire's music.
Oh,
Someone-
I've already been in this room.
Are you sure it's the hat that is lost? I asked reasonably enough. No one would answer me. Ducking behind a curtain and hurrying down a passageway we came out in.
Alright. Let's go to 3.
Yeah, Greg, I was hoping you would read the whole thing again like that.
An entirely different kind of place. The group complained of feeling all turned around. As well they might. Because no one wanted to stay here very long, they missed the real sign while looking through the obvious. People in their situation, confronted with a challenge, tend to accept the terms of the challenge as a given, without examining it from all sides. How many sides does that problem have? They don't know. We passed down a long flight of stairs, through some sort of pantry, and on into...
Alright. So it looks like everything is backwards here. We've got a stop sign next to the 9. We got a stick figure above a radiator and the sun by the 18 door. We got a sink with a ciphered question mark, also next to the 9. 3 different pots of water, different sizes. A moon and another banner which says, "What is your sign?
Yeah.
What is your sign? I think. Alright, well, since the display sign is backwards, or it's written backwards, I'm gonna go to room 33.
Okay.
Alright.
The room with no floor. They crowded each other on the narrow ledge. The bold one ventured out to the center. Realizing that they could see all of the signs only from the center of the room, several wanted to turn back. With exaggerated caution, considering their predicament, they finally reached the door they wanted and eventually found themselves in.
Sure there's a...
I think this one might be my favorite room for personal reasons. Nothing related to puzzles in here. It's not a spoiler.
personal reason.
It is literally a room with no floor, alright. Let's see, we came to 3. You got some pictograms up here of the crown and knife, some bleach, a base, a key, a bee, another base. You guess the first one's a picture, actually. And the shield? I'm not really quite sure what that last one is on the left.
This here?
You mean the one to the right of the 35 number?
No, the one next to 3, less than 3.
Oh.
We allowed to tell him?
Well, you can tell them what you see.
Interpretation.
That's a gray area. There, we're writing the rules there.
Alright, Alright, we've also got a larger picture of looks like a wagon or a cart, and we've got a violin in one of the doorways. So thank you for sending in. I still don't know what that is.
Well, okay, that yellow rectangle that I was seeing on there for a bit, that's not part of the book.
No, that's
I don't know what's going on there.
Highlight.
I'm not thinking that's a clue. It's not.
Here, you can take a look at the text.
yeah. There we go.
Alright, let's get back to the picture. Alright, you got drums. You got violin. I've already done the 3. I don't want to go back to 3. Is a 35 or 7. Let's crown and knight. A picture be of the and somebody can figure out. Alright, we're gonna go follow the wagon to 35.
Okay.
What appeared to be someone's basement. One of them sank gratefully down on an old couch, which promptly collapsed. I tried to hide my smile. A totem or tribal fetish, said one, walking around the center of the room. It could be a work of art, suggested another. Perhaps it's a signal to us, the thoughtful one said. A warning or direction? Help when there is only one way to go, put in another. I still think it's a signal. Yes, I said right away. I'm sure you're right. He was immediately suspicious. Still, with no real choice to make, we left the thing standing alone in light and silence and went into...
There's no choice to make here, right? There's another page number.
That's right.
So you have to go to 33. So let's go to 33.
The room with no floor. They crowded each other on the narrow ledge. The bold one ventured out to the center. Realizing that they could see all of the signs only from the center of the room, several wanted to turn back. With exaggerated caution, considering their predicament, they finally reached the door they wanted and eventually found themselves in...
7.
Okay.
A pleasant room with 3 doors and a lamp. Looking at the picture on the wall, they decided it wasn't a very good lighting. One of them almost fell over something on the floor. Why don't they pick up after themselves? He said, sounding like an old man. Weren't you ever irresponsible? I asked, thinking of my childhood and how wild I had been. Music was being played somewhere nearby. We stopped to listen for a moment. Leaving the pictures looking out on an empty room, we went on to...
Alright, so we were just in 33. We've got
Ah!
craziness all over the place. Painting of lots of different people. Got always like a mirror with some bullet holes on top. We've got this weird troll duck toy on the floor. And we're gonna go to 16.
Well, maybe it's 16.
I just following the clothes in the doorway.
A stone chamber, which reminded me of my old neighbors. Of course, that was a long time ago now. But would you believe their descendants are still telling stories about me and my family to their children? Even if most of the stories are lies and exaggerations, it is immortality of a sort. As I passed in front of an open doorway, a figure. What's that? A figure crossing the hall outside saw me and immediately ran on. Who was that? They asked. Another visitor, to be sure. Why did he run away? You probably scared him, I said, and they apparently believed me. With few regrets on my part, we left for.
36? Because I've already been 7.
An old and ruinous part of the house. Turning a corner, the music we had been hearing became louder, and at last we saw the musicians themselves. They were so involved they failed to hear us. The music was suited to the scene, a moody, romantic melody. We stopped to listen, and I admit that I, too, was affected by the sound as well as by the spectacle of the masked player. One of the visitors noticed me listening. Beautiful music, don't you think? It's not bad, I said stiffly. The viola brings the right sense of warmth to the piece, but the guitarist is overplaying his part. Still, he adds a certain plunge and brio to an otherwise introspective composition. Unwilling to interrupt the concert, we slipped past the musicians into the door to...
These are really already against it.
Hey, you're being to see what they call the world's most challenging puzzle.
Uh,
We're all here with you, Jeffrey.
Alright, we are... Guitarists that are playing, the viola is nice. We've got some broken down arches. Well, the viola guys looking at 16, so that's good. Yeah.
A stone chamber, which reminded me of my old neighbors. Of course, that was a long time ago now, but would you believe their descendants are still telling stories about me and my family to their children? Even if most of the stories are lies and exaggeration, it is immortality of a sort. As I passed in front of an open doorway, a figure crossing the hall outside me saw me and immediately ran on. Who was that? They asked. Another visitor, to be sure. Why did he run away? You probably scared him, I said, and they apparently believed me. With few regrets on my part, we left for...
Alright, guys. I'm just navigating with my... Okay. There we go.
Can't be caught in a loop. So,
Interesting way to put it.
So 36 leads back to here and 7. Here leads these 6 and 7. I need to go back to 7
Right.
to
A pleasant room with 3 doors and a lamp. Looking at the picture on the wall, they decided it wasn't a very good likeness. One of them almost fell over something on the floor. "Why don't they pick up after themselves?" he said, sounding like an old man. "Weren't you ever irresponsible?" I asked, thinking of my childhood and how wild I had been. Music was being played somewhere nearby. We stopped to listen for a moment. Leaving the pictures looking out at an empty room, we went on to
Alright, so 16 leads back here, so 30 and 36. 36 leads back to 16 and 7. So I gotta go with 33.
Okay.
the room with no floor. They crowded each other on the narrow ledge. The bold one ventured out to the center. Realizing that they could see all of the signs only from the center of the room, several wanted to turn back. With exaggerated caution, considering their predicament, they finally reached the door they wanted and eventually found themselves in
Okay.
We're almost there.
Sorry. Okay.
Alright, so this whole series is in big loop. I'll get back. I'm gonna try to go to another section of the book. So let's hit the 3.
an entirely different kind of place. The group complained of feeling all turned around, as well they might, because no one wanted to stay here very long. They missed the real sign while looking through the obvious. People in their situation, confronted with a challenge, tend to accept the terms of the challenge as a given, without examining it from all sides. How many sides does that problem have? They don't know. We passed down a long flight of stairs, through some sort of pantry, and on into
Alright, so I don't want to get stuck on the 33 again. See. So the moon maybe this way actually is this way. Let's go with 18.
Okay.
a much warmer room. Shadows danced across the floor to the fire's music. Someone's lost his hat. Are you sure that the hat that is lost is reasonably enough? No one would answer me. Ducking behind a curtain and hurrying down a passageway we came out in.
I'm probably going all the way to 18. Hit back to 3.
Back to 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
An entirely different kind of place. The group complained of feeling all turned around, as well they might, because no one wanted to stay here very long. They missed the real stuff while looking through the obvious. People in their situation, confronted with a challenge, tend to accept the terms of the challenge as a given without examining it from all sides. How many sides does that problem have? They don't know. We passed down a long flight of stairs, through some sort of pantry, and on into
9. Because the PFC door hasn't been there yet. There, I'm so sorry that I'm apparently brute forcing this puzzle.
No, you're doing fine.
No, it's great.
what appeared to be an old storeroom. Dust obscured a damaged painting, making it hard to understand just what the artist had intended. This could be a trick of some sort, one said. We might be going around in circles. I don't think so, said the thoughtful one. I think we're supposed to think it's a trick. That's the trick. They all looked at me. Yes, I said. I'm sure you're right about that. With doubtful looks, they left for.
Yeah, I don't even know how I got onto the blue.
You came here from room 3. That's weird.
Yeah, it just seems like all the rooms I'm going through right now just all lead back to each other. Hmm.
I should say, I think you can keep going. But if you get frustrated, if you were actually looking at this book, you could close the book. That is an option that you have. But saying that, I would still encourage you to keep going.
Like close the book, you mean like look at clues on the outside of the book, or just like give up?
Give up. I mean, and then you could then look at, you would give up and we would stop videotaping, and then you could look at clues outside the book if you wanted.
Alright, we're going to go a little more.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do it.
Alright.
You honestly are making more progress at this than it probably feels like.
Mm-hmm.
Am I? Alright.
Maybe? I'm not sure how much it feels like.
Alright.
I appreciate that you don't send your germs through the camera to infect all of us that you cover.
Well, that'd just be rude.
Yeah.
Alright, let's alright, you clear away out of this area and get some different areas. Is alright, I'm just gonna grab like a notebook. I can like keep track of just read the picture.
Sounds good.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
Well, I think Jeffrey's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're doing well.
Yeah.
It's amazing right along,
And despite,
as they say.
that taken in about this book, when someone with fresh eyes looks at it, I still manage to see something new every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's true.
So you're going to tell me about your prime minister?
What do you want to know?
Oh, sir, I
Don't know.
heard about. Sir, I heard about Rob Ford. My condolences.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Oh,
Great for you.
man, I thought this was the one place I could get away from hearing about Rob.
Oh. Well, it's not. So
It's not.
tell us about Rod Ford.
We better stay up on Toronto news.
Well, Rob Ford is dead.
Yeah.
Supposed to run for mayor again in 2018, right?
What's that?
Wasn't he supposed to run for mayor again in 2018?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He probably would want.
No.
Alright, we got a mid book and a pen.
Okay. Yeah.
You want me to read the room again?
No. Then alright. Okay. Let's put the 3.
3?
Yeah.
An entirely different kind of place. The group complained of feeling all turned around. As well they might, because no one wanted to stay here very long. They missed the real sign while looking through the obvious. People in their situation, confronted with the challenge, tend to accept the terms of the challenge as a given, without examining it from all sides. How many sides does that problem have? They don't know. We passed down a long flight of stairs, through some sort of pantry, and on into
Alright, now 33 back with that. Okay. So let's get to 18.
A much warmer room. Shadows danced across the floor to the fire's music. Someone's lost his hat. Are you sure it's the hat that is lost? I asked reasonably. No one would answer me. Ducking behind a curtain and hurrying down a passageway, we came out in.
Yes, let's do. Do 15 and 3. Alright, let's go to 13.
You got it. Room number 13. They weren't really comfortable here, and I knew why. No, they said. We're not all superstitious. Only some of you, then? They were worried it might be Friday. Well, it's true that it was closer to the end of the week than they realized. It takes a great deal of experience, certainly more than they possess, to understand how time works in the maze. The clock thought it was 6 in the evening. Quickly moving on, we came to.
Alright, can I
Sorry, Jeff, you hear that?
can I go to the written page?
Oh, right.
Right, so closer to the end of the week maybe. The clock thought it was 6 in the evening. Can you take a look at the picture? Closer to the end of the week. So, if I was a total guy,
Which you are.
Yeah.
which I obviously am, I would think closer to the end of the week doesn't actually mean Friday, and mean probably the E instead of specifically mentioned the A, the second E, which is significant in some way. The E a number in Latin? Yeah.
Like a Roman numeral? No, it isn't.
It isn't. Closer to the end of the week. There you go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, some Ah.
Did you ask me to do something?
What?
You didn't ask me to do something, did you?
Nah, I'm just mumbling to myself at this point.
Okay.
You know, I have a healthy mind right there. Uh, it's the clock. Hey, hello. He's starting with old guy here. Oh, 5.
25?
No, I'm just counting it off.
Oh, sorry.
Uh, counting it off how far into the alphabet we get. But yeah, let's go with 35. So, that's the number I got. We got a 5.
A high room with the image of a crown on the wall for everyone to see now. Though one of my parents might be lowborn, the other was close to a king. I've always felt at home here. Which door ought we take? They wanted to know. I rather brusquely indicated the 3 doors. Any of these is fine for my purposes. They were disconcerted at the apparent lack of clues. Perhaps in another room, they said, leaving for.
Well, someone else is 35. Changes for 17. No, he's a getting down. Parking space next to like 37. Crown, not yeah, please. Yeah, I noticed a bunch of crowns. So we're gonna go with 34.
Okay.
A middle-class drawing room or parlor. It was amazing how much more comfortable they felt in these surroundings. Everyone sat down, some on the floor, and chatted about where they had been and where they should go. Magpies! I said to myself, not a real thought in their heads. They were so much at ease, they almost missed what the room was telling them altogether. They finally got the message, which I thought was pretty obvious, and we went on to.
Well, I'm glad the other experience got yes. Yeah. Alright, so you got a thick little potato, a pink chair, yeah, really right. Now, sofa. You got a sign on top of the table. There's drive, time, and compass. You got looks like an old Greek shrine in the painting. The Washington Monument at right, in the painting on the right. The cave of the boar. It says quick, 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 quick. Uh, Alright, and of course there's part of the door that says yes, no, maybe. Wait, can you go to the working page?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the last room was the one that you can pick any the door. Yeah, picture. There.
You want to go back to the picture? Sure.
Oh, yeah. Alright. He came for 25, so we're going to 10.
A room that smelled of paint. Faint voices, apparently in an argument, came from behind the locked door. You know, said one, that sounds like us in there. They tried the door, but naturally it wouldn't open. The voices stopped when the doorknob rattled. One picked up the umbrella. It may rain where we're going. I signaled my approval, and after a short rest, we came to.
Well, obviously, kind of want to use that happening. All right. So he got more little feed. This made me feel thinking. Almost like it's like a we got volcanoes, we got a couple of hamsters. We got a ladder with some toothbrushes on it. We got some luggage, an umbrella on top of a very fancy bed. I'm honestly going to choose 41, but I'm close to 45.
41?
Yes, 41.
A room with a special piece of furniture I thought might appeal to my guest. How can we trust that thing? One remarked. Who knows where it ends up? I knew naturally, but that wasn't the point. They were pretty sure of themselves and went right on to.
All right. Yeah, let's look at it now. Carcass dummy with mushrooms that are deep. Got AC of a frog, a painting of a creepy looking child. Yeah. Why? Bizarre looking horn. Yeah, there's English town. That one is at the 35. And isn't one the room we cared about?
It is.
Alright, well, that was out of Rebel Hill. So we're gonna try 38.
All right.
Who did you want to try?
A narrow space where one wall boasted half-finished carvings and another some sort of carnival poster. There was a little confusion as we made our entrance, but we soon sorted ourselves out. It was impossible to climb up the slippery slide, and another door wouldn't open for us, so after emptying the pebbles from our shoes, we marched on to.
Alright, well, I feel like I'm making some progress, you know. Alright, looks like we got a Neanderthal, another sort of early hominid with an arrow pointing towards his nose. But the poster itself says C. Yeah. Then we got a blue foot. We got a very fancy heart. And we got a left fancy doorway. Now I just lost fancy stuff, so now I know it's 40. 40.
Okay.
Yeah, they're showing off my photo here.
So I'm going to read this one, then I have to go for a little bit, but then I'll be back.
Yeah, I can take over for reading the room descriptions while you're gone.
Thank you, Ben.
No problem.
The foundation of the maze. Deep underground stones had been carved and fitted. Passages opened in the natural rock. These symbols are quite unusual, said one. They seem to be primitive signs. Do you know what signs? I asked him. Oh, you know, wind and water, hills and planets. It was surprising that he could identify any of the symbols, but I was relieved that he couldn't read them correctly. Using more or less at random, they went through a passageway too.
Alright, let's see, I don't think I have... Let's take a look at these symbols, if they sound fun. Looks like there's one math symbol that I can see. Looks like one is a stick figure. There's a ballerina. Whoa. Can't remember what this math symbol is. Bacon? No, just looked up on Wikipedia for a list of math symbols, but that's it. So crazy there. Alright, we are... We're gonna go up the stairs to six.
It's
Up
that-
stairs there.
A gloomy cave-like place far underground. Even I was oppressed by the weight that hung over our heads. A very small house high above, amid a feeble light. Standing in the light, one of them put his hand out. I think it may be raining out there. They didn't like the look of the place. You continue to judge everything by the way it looks, I cried, exasperated by their timidity. I knew I shouldn't have said anything. If you think of all the deceptions practiced in my family, particularly on my father, we went down the only way open to us and came to...
40. That's where... Okay.
the foundation of the maze. Deep underground stones had been carved and fitted, passages opened in the natural rock. But these symbols are quite unusual, said one. They seem to be primitive signs. Do you know what signs? I asked him. Oh, you know, wind and water, hills and planets. It was surprising that he could identify any of the symbols, but I was relieved that he couldn't read them correctly. Choosing more or less at random, they went through a passageway to
11.
I love it.
an airy room with many doors. It was a big space, but I still felt crowded. I've always hated confinement. Whatever you do, I warned them, don't touch that. This must be an important room, said one of them. It has more doors than any of the others. This was not true, but I didn't want to interrupt. With so many paths crossing here, we must be close to the center, she continued. I had noticed this guest before. I would have to be careful. This is an important choice, I said, trying to encourage them. Gratefully leaving the room behind, we walked all the way to...
For assistance, please ring the bell. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Ding ding. Alright. I'm not seeing a whole lot of this room beside the giant nail and the giant bell. And what looks like a cage covering over the room. I'm still looking for a plethora of doors to come, because there are only two. So, either going towards 24 or I think 24.
24.
Ben, can we read this one together? At the same
Oh, yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. A place
of unlimited darkness.
Where are the
Where are the doors?
Yeah.
We can't see any door. Be careful where you step.
That a
One.
this stop is hidden. Does
link that up.
By the time I served visitors, it turned to asking what to do. I was already far away. There are
No doors. At the voice.
You are here
with the rest of now. Even my bellowing laughter couldn't fill the day.
Hey, so I guess I got.
Yeah.
Well, no, you live with a lot of friends, a lot of new friends.
Yeah, I'm getting Eternal Darkness.
You reached a room with no exit.
Alright.
And that is me by Christopher Manson.
Okay.
Let's everyone give a round of applause to Jeffrey. He did an awesome job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, did I do well? I kind of didn't try to solve any puzzles.
You got 37 points.
Nobody really still amazing first time through. You did fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's all about how long you do it.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's not just about that. There's basically you could go back and forth between the same two rooms an unlimited number of times. That would mean you're doing really well.
But you got stamina.
Yeah.
And limitless
You had a lot of great observations. I wish I had a notebook, so I was taking notes on what you were saying.
You know what I thought? You said Fowler rolled it in room 40, where all the symbols were.
Oh yeah, I tried to look up the symbol. I thought more of a map one.
Oh, yeah. Which one?
There is a one head in the middle that was like a circle with a line through it, and then a dot above the line.
Um,
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was a math symbol I'd seen somewhere, but when I looked up on Wikipedia, I didn't see it in the list of math symbols.
I feel like I've looked for that symbol before, actually, and I've not found anything.
So, how do you feel about the experience you just had, Jeffrey?
Kind of weird. I certainly wasn't expecting to do this tonight.
Well, nobody ever can predict when they will hear the call of the man. When this book was originally published, nobody actually thought it. It just showed up in houses by sunrise.
So, is that where you call yourself now, Dan, the call of the maze?
Like, we call this video series Mazecast. We watch our hundreds of videos online any time of day.
Mm-hmm.
7 days a week. They're available at our website, youtube.com.
So, Jeffrey, would you want to go through the maze again, not on video? Is that something you would want after this experience, or do you feel ambivalent, or you not care, or do you hate it?
I'm not big into puzzles, so unless you guys want me to come back on for another maze cast,
I think you would be welcome.
I would probably not look up this book and try to figure out the puzzle.
So, when's good for you?
Oh. I think you're just gonna have to rely on Ben hitting me up every once in a while. I go to school. I've got classes on Tuesday, Thursday. They're just gonna depend on my workload.
What do you?
Speaking of classes, nothing sharpens the mind like a good puzzle.
So you're studying anthropology?
No, I know I'm studying history.
Yeah, what time period and place period is your most interests you?
I am interested in history of indigenous people. So the history of people who were around before the Europeans Western arrived.
Right.
Which you can find it's a very fascinating thing about the Aztec Empire, very famous. And for a long time, people thought it had been around for thousands of years before the Europeans set up. In reality, it was a very young empire. It only been around for a couple hundred years.
Is it right that like a lot of the ruins that people attributed to the Aztecs were actually from a people before them?
Well, what happened was that the Aztecs started off in what is now present-day Mexico City, and the area was a lot like Italy. It was a lot of sort of separate city-states, and what would happen was that the Aztecs eventually grew to a military power and was just conquering other city-states.
They're kind of the biggest jerks in the area.
Yeah, which is why so many Indians joined up with Cortez when he said, "Hey, I'm going to take down the Aztec Empire with my 50 guns." And they're like, "Hey, we hate those guys. We'll join up with you."
Yeah.
Would it be fair to say that history is in large part a study of hatred?
No, it's not a study of hatred. It's a study of It's a big thing I like to remember about history is that people are complicated. A lot of when you're looking at the history of indigenous people, like especially in North America, a lot of students question, like, well, why didn't these guys just band together and fight off the Europeans of the West there? And you got to understand, like these were people with an already rich, complex history, and they don't have 2020 foresight. They only could view their history and their culture through their own lens, and that was, well, we've got these white guys over here, we've got guns, and we've got these old enemies over here who we really like to beat. And just really, it just really helps you keep in mind that these are people who had histories with each other, and they didn't have that history with the Westerners, which made it easier for the Westerners to come in and sort of carve out a niche for themselves.
True that. So you'd say do you have more of a focus on the New World then? Or in the Americas, or the continent we're on in South America?
I quite get that.
It seems like, do you have more of a focus on the New World in what you're interested in?
It's kind of what I've got access to. When it comes to history of indigenous people, we don't. There's actually been a lot of work by historians in America to try to understand what the Native Americans were like before we arrived, and there hasn't been that much work. There was other indigenous people. Like we don't have a real better debate. We don't have a real good understanding of like what's in the indigenous people of Australia, or so as the Australians arrived.
Right.
I think, yeah, of course, some indigenous people are still around, like, the Mongolians still have a country, Mongolia. That history sure was like, I mean, not waiting for the visit at the end of the end was covered, and like, that history has been a lot.
So after you graduate, what do you, like, if you had your druthers, where would you go and what would you?
Well, I'm just because I really love that. This is like my second attempt at college.
But I mean, in order to help recover, like, where do you think the greatest need is to, like, recover? Well, I don't know, greatest need, or great need plus your interest to, like, that you would want to go and, like, spend your passion and your life to kind of recover these, like, histories that have been lost.
Well, probably. That's a very good question. I'm not sure that's a good answer for that. I suspect
That's the story of Mazecast.
I don't have an answer for that either.
I think there's an interesting area of trying to recover history for the history of what that was like before Captain Cook showed up. And really, the whole meeting with Captain Cook is very put the perspective of indigenous side. So I think that probably trying to do better understanding of the history there, like the various islands and how islanders lived before Westerners showed up, because there's no real record.
Right. And there's a bias of history as a study towards written record. So anything that doesn't have a written record, there's
No, most assuredly, like if you're able to shut down the password, people will be just
But I think that's great. I'm really interested in that too. So hopefully you'll come back on a future Mazecast and tell us more about that.
yeah, all right.
Yeah, it's good to learn about space cast.
All right. Well, I think this has been very good for us. And until next time, every room has a guide. Let us be your.